Okay, guys, welcome to The Watcher. And as much as I've gathered my two guests here, Luke Barry and Aaron Cregan, for Marvel Talk, we cannot look past the fact that this week we are also getting the release of the Snyder Cut, the long-touted, long-shouted about final 4-hour cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And while I have these guys here, I have to just ask them some questions about what they're thinking about it. So I want to come to Aaron first, because Aaron, as long as I've known you, you kind of have been a big Marvel fan. I've never even think I've heard you talking about DC. Where are you at with the DCEU in general, and what do you make of this Snyder Cut? And keep in mind that I'm already going to call you a Marvel shill right now.
So I'm the biggest Marvel shill. My entire right arm is tattooed with Marvel Easter eggs. Literally, that's not a lie. And I've never hidden the fact that I'm not the biggest DCEU fan or DC fan in general. Do love people like the Flash and Green Arrow and the Teen Titans, but ultimately it's just a mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's where? Who's who? There's two Flashes already. Like, now I know we're getting a Flashpoint Paradox movie, but like, it's just, so the TV shows weren't connected, but then the season finale of The Flash, they were. But like, oh, it's all over the place. It's so all over the place for me, and I just can't piece it together like I can the MCU. It's a jigsaw puzzle, but none of the pieces fit.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Matt Skyler buries the DCU. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, well, like Luke, I've always wanted to ask what you thought of Batman v Superman, but I guess in general, Zack Snyder's DC films, what exactly do you make of them?
Okay, I don't hate them as much as I even should, right? I studied film in college. I'm an actor. I've written scripts for things. I should hate them because I would say the writing, not great. The filmmaking, not that great. The acting, I'd argue, is good. I think Ben Affleck potentially could be a good Batman. That being said, my favorite Batman film is Batman and Robin. So I don't know. Am I the right person to talk to about this?
Yeah, you objectively have no opinion anymore now. So,
so let's just be clear. Just be clear. I gathered someone who hates DC and someone who loves Batman and Robin to talk about DC. What the fuck? Pointless stuff. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of might be closer to Aaron's point of view in this. Like, I've as far as the DC films go, Man of Steel is one where I actually, the first time I saw it, I was like, that was a bit of a letdown, but over time, my opinion of it has kind of gone up. I will actually even say, like, there's things in that movie that I think are amazing, and even some of the controversial elements I don't think are that bad. I think him killing Zod is fine, actually, as much as it is not like Superman, but Batman v Superman, on the other hand, because like as soon as I saw Man of Steel, the way I kind of justified it, even when I didn't like it, I was like, well, the next film we're going to get that Superman we love, because they set it all up here.
Yeah.
And then we got to Batman v Superman, and Superman was a psychotic murderer, and Batman even more so. And that's not even my issues with it, but I've said this before on my podcast. Batman v Superman is the only time I've left the cinema legitimately angry. I was pissed. Not just about the quality of the film. I actually was believe it or not, I was like one of those DC guys before, because when I saw the reviews, I was like, the critics are wrong. There's no way. They don't get it. And then I went to see it, and I was like burying my face in my hands. I was like, why is Lex Luthor being a creep with a fucking Jolly Rancher to this guy? What is going on in this movie in general? Like, it just. And then it wasn't even that the film was that bad. I remember I was so annoyed because I was like, this was the only chance we'd ever get to have the first time to have those characters together on screen, and they fucked it up. And then I felt
Lex Luthor introduced them together like he knew who they were.
Yes. That
that didn't set up anything. So it was...
Yeah, like that is exactly what Zack Snyder does, though. He thinks of the trailer shot, and that line of, oh, Bruce Kent meets Clark Kent, that's the trailer thing. That is exactly what that was, because in context, you're like, why would the billionaire be excited about meeting some random news reporter? Not even the best news reporter, by the way. Before this, they were like, go down to the football field and write notes on fucking the Gotham Generals or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I was that kind
That was a good Jesse Eisenberg, by the way.
I know.
Really very good.
I'm afraid to go
was
back.
very,
I
very
think you
good.
said Bruce Kent.
You did
but
say
say
Bruce
Bruce.
Kent.
I did.
But I think that was more of a meta nod to how shitty the scripting was than
Yeah,
anything
and
else.
also I'm going to dub it in afterwards. But like, yeah, it was that kind of thing where then I felt like I was literally insane because there was people like, it's a work of art, and I thought it was people trolling. And then, like, after a couple of years, I was like, oh, they actually do like it that much. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Justice League. What did we make of, I guess, the theatrical cut of Justice League? Aaron, what do you make of it?
I hated it so much. And the worst part is, I didn't actually hate it at the start. It was actually, in my opinion, at the very start of that, building the team was very, very cool because they had to individually go to everyone, which is something I thought they missed in their own world building anyway. Like in the MCU, we get character, team up. In this, they just did character sequel with a few more characters, and now all the characters together. So going to individual each person and learning their personality that way was really cool. And then they brought Superman back to life, and the rest of them were useless. So it just, you get this exciting build up to see this team finally work, and then you realize, oh, they don't have to work because Superman's here.
Out of all like
So
Zack Snyder DC films, like where is it in your ranking? Like, is it the worst one? Is it like in the middle? What do you reckon?
Oh, it's definitely not the worst. It sits pretty. It's underneath Aquaman, which I would hold as third, fourth.
Do you class this as a Zack Snyder film, Justice League? Like, what are your views on that one?
Do you know what? It's funny. I just read a quote there, right? Literally, I think like an hour before we started recording this, and he was asked. Him and his wife, I think, were asked why they kept their name on the film, and they basically were just like, we wanted to, show people that we're still proud, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of feels like, to me, they just kept it on there being like, if this works, hopefully we can be like, yeah, that was our film. And I do wonder about that, like, because is it a Zack Snyder film? I get the feeling that, like, once we see the Snyder Cut, people are going to be surprised how much of this film actually is Zack Snyder, in my opinion.
Wasn't
I think so too.
Brought in halfway?
He was brought in like over the summer, I think, and I think I'm trying to remember the numbers. Did he reshoot like 80% of the film or something?
I think so.
There was like, because again, if you haven't heard this, the cut actually leaked online on Monday.
I saw this the first hour.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed because it was on HBO Max if you try to watch Tom and Jerry, and I legitimately watched Tom and Jerry for some reason last week, and I got Tom and Jerry much to my disappointment. For some reason, because I was just checking, but yeah, it was like, it's that kind of thing where like a lot of people that came away from it, some people were just like, hey, the Whedon jokes are still here. And it does come back to that debate of at what point is this the Snyder Cut? Because for years after it was, we're getting the Snyder Cut and this is what it's going to include, but he has the benefit of hindsight, If this was a studio directed film for the Snyder Cut, there's no way they would have put out a weirdly aspect ratioed 4-hour film that's R-rated, So,
yeah. But Batman says fuck, Tom. Batman says fuck. We have to watch it. Batman says fuck.
It does, like that edgy Titans trailer from a couple of years ago.
It's actually not a bad show though. In general,
we're all comic book fans. We're all comic book film fans. Is Batman saying a curse word in any way a drawing aspect for you, a reason you'd want to watch something?
Ruins it for me.
I wouldn't even say it ruins it for me. It does nothing for me.
But like, why does he feel the need to curse? He's Batman. He shouldn't feel the need to.
Okay, I want to put it this way.
Should be enough to draw me to the film. Not what words he say.
Batman cursing doesn't upset me.
Okay.
Batman cursing doesn't upset me. The fact that they're using it as a marketing tool is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen an adult man do.
Yes.
Because we were kids and he didn't curse, and now we're adults and he does.
But, so what?
Lucas
he also kills people.
Like, on paper, I'm okay with Batman cursing. It just seems weird that he would, because if you're going to curse once, why would he not be cursing all the time? The amount of stuff he puts up with, but also it is that kind of thing where and we had that really awkward quote that came out when I think a trailer leaked online, and Zack Snyder went after some journalist and he was like, "This is a movie for grown-ups," and it's like, oh, if it's a movie for grown-ups, you don't have to say that. No one's like, hey, The Godfather is for grown-ups, you know?
I think the issue is, though, is that the Batman versus Superman Snyder Cut is actually just better than Batman Superman.
It is.
I think that's why so many people are probably latching onto this Justice League Snyder Cut, be like, no, it's going to be fantastic. He fixed Batman versus Superman, sure.
But do you think it's as much better as people say it is? People were kind of like, it redeemed the whole movie.
Not at all.
No.
They added a few key scenes to explain already stupid things a bit better, but it doesn't make the things they did any less stupid.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of made a few plot holes smaller, but they're still there. And then it was another half hour of misery I had to sit through, to be honest. I've never gone back and actually watched the theatrical cut again. I don't think.
No, neither have I.
Neither have I. I've seen the movie twice, and it's both versions once.
Yeah.
I saw Batman versus Superman twice in the cinema. Because like yourself, Tom, I left once going, that was not good. I thought the first half of it was like a bunch of scenes from different films put together. And then I left and I went, I think I'm going to go back and watch it. Actually, I think I saw a Kevin Smith podcast where he said that he went back and watched it a second time, and because there was no pressure on the film, it was a little bit better. And I went and I watched it, and it wasn't better.
That's interesting because
you're calling Kevin Smith a liar. He's the king of comic book nerds.
Kevin Smith robbed mine and Tom's podcast idea and did it better and before us.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't come out and
how dare he provide entertainment
or whatever the fuck, Hollywood Tomalon, you know, what the fuck. It is weird though, because actually you talking about that Kevin Smith thing, that did make me think as well, because I was like, because I remember he was like, he's good friends with Zack Snyder, like he got to see a lot of the stuff early on. So in my head, I was like, I will lose all respect for the man if he doesn't at least, you know, needle it a little bit. And I remember, I think it was like just after they seen the film, and it was Hollywood Babylon with him and Ralph Garman. And it was the first time seeing it, and there was just an awkward silence at the start. And he was like, well, Batman was pretty good. And he started calling him Bat Trump and all this shit. Like, it was, and yeah, he did kind of come back and was like, hey, that was a parademon. Wasn't that cool? You know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
It's a weird one. I assume that bizarre family that's in Justice League for no reason is no longer in it.
God, I'd love if they were in it though. Just to see people's head explode. We have to save the Russian family. This is seemingly super important one family from this catastrophic worldwide event. Yeah. Oh my God. Do you know what's even more bad about that? Because I subjected myself to watching Justice League again. And to be honest, weighing the numbers, I might have seen Justice League more times than I've seen Batman vs Superman, just because it's mercifully shorter. But they have like the most awkward jokes for Flash in it. And I'm like, if those jokes are in it, I want to see all the Zack Snyder fans just own up to the fact that the jokes are terrible. Because like they were like, oh, fucking Joss Whedon's shitty humor. Like I remember, like, because you mentioned the Russian family, he just like he saves the Russian family because, oh my God, these poor Russian people, as opposed to everyone else in the world. They're like, he just comes up to me and goes, Dostoevsky, and I was like, oh.
But also, that stupid fucking family get an entire fucking scene where they get saved, and then Superman carries a building immediately after to remind us, yeah, actually, there are more people, so fuck the Flash and fuck this family. In the movie, they literally make you hate that family more themselves.
Yeah. I
mean, also, back to your Dostoevsky joke, isn't Barry Allen meant to be like borderline genius?
Yeah. He's borderline something in this.
Yeah, basically, like, it's a weird one. I don't understand the character.
Doesn't Barry Allen always make jokes? He always makes shit jokes.
Always.
The difference is that instead of making shit jokes, he makes jokes that are just shit in this movie, in Justice League. Like they're just shit. They're not funny. They're not dad jokes. They're just bad.
But guys,
I think the TV show
observation on brunch. How can we forget that? What is brunch? Is it breakfast or is it lunch? Whoa! It's like, get out of the way, Seinfeld. You know, like, it's so bad. And like, I don't know. Like, as far as the cast of the Justice League go, like, pretty solid. Like, casting wise, I'm like, that's pretty good. And on paper, at least, I'd put aside him possibly choking a woman for legal reasons, allegedly. I don't know. Like Ezra Miller can act, but I don't know about him as Barry Allen, and I don't know is it the characterization or what. But
It's because there's a better Flash who was on TV at the same time in Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
It's mad. Like, and I remember like people were coming out. I remember there was like one guy on Twitter losing his shit at the time that they didn't go with Grant Gustin. He was like, they just cost the movie $30 million. It's like, okay, where did you get that
Hard to
number from?
disagree right now. Like,
Oh my god.
looking back on it, would Justice League have been better with Grant Gustin? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It would have been more interesting. They would have hit the multiverse aspect of things far before Marvel did properly as well, which I know is what they're really.
First thing first. They did do it first. They just did it on a TV show that ran its course, and no one cared anymore.
Yeah. Well, do you know what's mad? Like, right? We were just talking about like how they could have gotten to the multiverse, I suppose, with the Flash quicker. But obviously, this Flash movie keeps getting delayed. Did you guys see what Zack Snyder had intended for this Justice League trilogy? What he had planned after this? Have you looked at that?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh god, no. I have to try to explain this now, and it's so damn long. Right. So the broad.
So you were hoping we knew. That's good.
I know. I should have just been like you. I
have a lot more faith in us than we have in ourselves.
I know. This really is just showing me like, God, Tom, get off the fucking internet, will you? Like, so basically, there's an exhibit at the moment that's like it's got some pretentious title, like the Dreamscapes of Zack Snyder or something, and he revealed the storyboards and the pitch of what the other films in this 5-film arc would have been. Now, I'm going to put disclaimer here. This was probably before any of the films had been made. It was probably before they had any idea of where this universe was going to go. But basically, the first film would have kind of ended the first Justice League seemed to be more or less the same. But then in the middle of it, like basically, you find out that while Superman was dead, Batman and Lois Lane had a romance. And because of that, when Superman comes back, there's a real awkward tension between Lois and Superman. It gets worse because the reason it's very awkward is because Superman is aware that Lois is pregnant. And not only that, Bruce does not know that the child is his. I'm going to put in a clip here of fucking Steve Harvey or whatever that show is, where you are not the father, because that is what he is told. The Flash is like, oh no, Lois is like, it's not yours. It says that to Batman, right? And then basically we have not Thanos. Oh god, I should.
1 second, is Batman not the world's greatest detective?
Yeah, I know, right?
He doesn't know that the woman he's having sex with, who's having a child.
I never even thought of that.
So
he did have a kid. He didn't
child isn't yours. All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay, cool. I'll take that at face value. He doesn't want to lose all that money, you know.
Let's just assume he's drunk the entire time.
Yeah. The other thing is like basically, Darkseid has come to Earth at this point, and Lex Luthor has assembled the League. The League he has assembled is all these characters that would have been in the solo DC films. So it would have been the Poison Lady from Wonder Woman, who's still alive in the Brazilian jungle for some reason. It would have been the Riddler, who was going to be in Ben Affleck's Batman, apparently. It would have been Snart from Flash, and I think there was another character as well. But anyway, that's his like Injustice League, as it were. And basically,
you mean a Legion of Doom?
A Legion of Doom, that'll work as well. Okay, so basically, the way that first film ends is that Darkseid ends up killing the pregnant Lois Lane. And as a result, Superman gets overtaken by the anti-life equation, becomes evil, and just lasers people out of existence, including Lex Luthor. And then the first film was to end. The first Justice League film would have ended with, I think this is the first, maybe we're in the second Justice League, I don't know. It would have ended with basically 5 years into the future. It would have featured that nightmare escape that we saw in Batman v Superman, where basically now Superman is evil.
I have a question real quick.
Man in the coloured hoodie has a question.
Eve, have you played or read the Injustice series?
Yes, I have played.
So for Luke, basically, Injustice is a video game that got a very, very good comic book series after it, where it's basically.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So it sounds like he wants to do that, but worse.
That's exactly what I said coming out of Batman v Superman, when it was like evil Superman, and Lois was the key, because of course that started when like Joker kills Lois, I think it was. And
Yeah,
then-
yeah. Well, no, Batman or Superman kills Lois, but Joker used Scarecrow's fear toxin to make him do it.
There we go. Yeah, all I could remember was that Superman put his hand through Joker, wasn't it? So yeah,
Yeah, he just rips him from the inside out.
that's what you want from your Superman on the big screen for the first time in like years, I guess. And anyway, yeah. So basically, all the second film would have been in this nightmarescape, where like it's like this ragtag group of Justice League people, including Mira, Deathstroke, I think Deadshot maybe. But basically, they have to kind of figure out how to survive. Oh, Cyborg is ripped in half as well, and Flash is there, but they can only basically every. I love how I'm just brushing over that. Cyborg's ripped in half, and Flash is there.
Yeah, but that's
how it would
what a
have been.
classic DC thing to do, though. Yeah, this happened too.
Yeah, but like, isn't it mad? Like, imagine like the second Justice League film. They're like, hey, it's not really the Justice League; it's this ragtag group of people. But like,
Yeah.
the whole
Like, can you
thing
imagine
that-
if they did the whole setup for the Avengers and then they flash forward to 10 years in the future where it's not them?
Yeah, it would have been like doing the first
You know,
Avengers film and then jumping to Endgame and being like, figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, basically after that, they're allowed to like try once every year, I think it is, because of the position of the Earth. Flash can only go back in time once a year, so he has to survive basically.
Oh.
Because they want to go back in time to the point where they can stop Superman from going nuts or whatever. And basically,
Is that the Lois is the key scene? So
I guess it didn't
Yeah.
explicitly say that, but that was my assumption. And again, I think this might have been pitched like before Batman v Superman was even
Yeah.
written, maybe. But I assume that's what it was. I guess that was enough for him to realize. But like, yeah, basically from there, Superman does manage to find them. Basically, they can't go out at night. This is another thing I didn't get. I don't think Zack Snyder knows anything about Superman, and this was evidence because he goes like, they have to be inside for nightfall because then that's when he's out. And I'm like, it's Superman. He's not a vampire. He can just be out any time of the day. Why is it night? Like, but anyway, so like they go back in time, and I'm brushing over a load of stuff here. Wonder Woman ends up back at Amazon. Arthur ends up being a king trying to unite all the kingdoms or something. And basically, no one was able to be there to stop Superman going crazy. But because they're able to go back in time, they're able to save Superman from going crazy, I guess. And the way they
Where's
do
Batman in all of this?
Oh yeah, Batman basically is the lead. Batman is leading the Justice League, but he gets killed by Superman in the nightmare scene, I think. And he basically, whatever happens, he sacrifices himself so that they can prevent all this stuff. So basically, the only thing stopping Superman from going crazy this whole time is the fact that Lois is alive. And also, they don't even give him that moment to be heroic and save it. It's Batman who basically makes that decision for Superman to be good again, because they managed to go back in time, stop all the League stuff from happening, beat Darkseid, and that's kind of it. And the end of the film, and this is all anyone's talking about, not all the weird apocalypse stuff. Everyone's only talking about this, is that basically, yes, Lois was pregnant by Bruce Wayne. The child is Bruce's. Superman is like, yes, I know, I always knew. They give a big hug, and that's the end of the movie. Until, and this is why I'm like, how the hell did you get Zack Snyder to build the universe? Because on paper, it's an interesting idea, not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah.
But he's like, we're going to raise that kid. Cut to 20 years later, and that kid is now Batman. 20 years later. So basically, there would have not been a Batman for ages. And if you were going to make sequels after this, it would have been like, hey, we're 20 years removed from Justice League. Now we have a new Batman. Oh, yes. And everyone else is 20 years older. But yeah, I'm not doing that justice, I don't
Would
think.
they have just had him take his father's name and he would have been Bruce Wayne, Batman, carry on?
I guess the only thing I was like, the only way I could think of that possibly making sense would be if they did like a Batman Beyond thing. But even still,
You need
Yeah.
Batman for Batman Beyond.
yeah.
You can't do it without Bruce
No,
Wayne.
Like, I mean, again, I didn't do that justice. This is me jumping over what I read.
In fairness, I don't know if there's much more you could have done for it.
No, that's just evident as you read it. It's nuts. It's worth reading just for that. But also the question is, maybe Zack wants to continue on with that because, of course, the goalposts have kind of moved now from give us the Snyder Cut to restore the Snyder universe. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
Has anyone asked
Oh,
Zack
right.
Snyder if he's okay?
I don't think he is, man. Like
I
genuinely.
just
I
go,
don't think he is.
Zack, are you okay, bud? You all right?
Oh,
And then he might stop making films. Just that one question might do that.
yeah.
Do you think
I
Zack
know.
Snyder watched The Dark Knight
Snyder.
and went, got it?
Yeah, it does feel to me like Zack Snyder has read The Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, and he was like, "Yeah, that'll do. That'll do."
Yeah,
Lads."
comics, got it, nailed it.
Yeah. I know Frank Miller, basically. But yeah, it's I don't know. I guess we just completely ignored the question, which is like, what do we make of this Snyder Cut? Is it going to be any good? Are we actually looking forward to it somehow, some way?
I am looking forward to it, but I don't know if I'm looking forward to it for the film. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it for the
morbidly,
reaction more than anything else.
Yeah, it's more morbidly curious than anything.
Mhm.
Just like, is it going to be way better than like how everyone who's a Schneider fanboy is going to say it is, or is it going to just still be as bad? Is it somehow going to be worse? Like 4 fucking hours. You can't tell a convenient plot in less than 4 hours. You fucked it. But
Tell that to William Shakespeare.
there was a
Shakespeare,
difference
Snyder,
there.
these are the greats of our time. It is insane.
Well,
like 4 hours.
Ben Affleck did say that playing Batman is like playing Hamlet.
Oh, was that before or after he saw the Rotten Tomato score on Batman v Superman?
That's before he played Batman.
Oh, okay. He might have a different answer now, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I mean, I'm not excited, but I can't wait to watch it at the same time, because I'm like, what even is this? I can't believe. I just look. I know it's not the end, but I hope it's the end of all this stuff, because I can't deal with it. It feels like the whole movie criticism on the internet just broke after Batman v Superman came out, and then we had Ghostbusters, we had The Last Jedi, we had all these films where basically it ruined film criticism forever, where it was like every film is either the best or the worst, and if it's bad, it's because the studio interfered, and the true cut of it needs to be released.
But on that note, can I ask you a question? What does this mean for films going forward if this is critically well received?
It breaks everything. It
Breaks
really
everything. Because I've seen people online now looking for a Peter Jackson cut of The Hobbit, which doesn't exist, by the way, but they're looking for, because the studio interfered too much in The Hobbit, obviously.
I mean, this it would ruin the studio system completely, because let's be honest, if this was the first Justice League film that came out, it was 4 hours, Zack Snyder all over the place, R-rated, it would have been a bomb. It would have flopped. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot tell me any evidence that it would have done well. Like, you're cutting off its box office with R-rated, and obviously R-rated films have done well, but no one, the mandate for Justice League when it was edited was get it under 2 hours because they wanted more showings. 4 hours is insane. This isn't an end game that has been building up forever. It's not the last part of Lord of the Rings. It's 4 hours.
You haven't given us anything to grab and be, you haven't given us anything to sit there for 4 hours and justify sitting there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
We had 19 movies before Endgame to justify sitting there for over 3 hours. Same with Lord of the Rings. You had that epic story. And this just hasn't done it. I think a lot of people are going to watch it in 2 goes. I think people are going to get 2 hours in and realize this is shit. And then some people are going to have to go back and watch the last 2 hours and go, well, I got it this far. I won't be watching it in one viewing, because why would I? Why should I? What have DC ever given me to believe that they can do a very good 4-hour movie?
I probably will.
You're so angry.
I probably will do the 4 hours.
Because the system is so easy. The system is so easy to create an easy stuff. Marvel did this already. Copy. It's okay to copy.
It's I feel so bad, because DC just is the punching bag, and I don't want it. For so long, it was look at Sony over there with Spider-Man. It was look at Fox trying to get the X-Men together. And now it's DC. They're just hey, we've got 3 different Batmans going on, and you know what? We're going to bring Supergirl in. What's the story with Superman? Don't mind Superman. We're bringing in a new Superman. It's lads, it's right there in front of you. Why are you going all these ass backwards way of building your universe? It's fascinating to watch them fumble.
I think what's fascinating about it is you hear Zack Snyder talk about Dark Knight Returns so much. Why didn't he just make the Dark Knight Returns?
He would have made a great Dark Knight Returns film.
He would have made billions.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Another thing that makes no sense, though, is DC are terrible at building this world, but they're animated. Who here's watched the War Saga and the Batman, like the Bat Family Saga within that War universe? It's an animated.
I saw
series.
bits and pieces. I haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's about an hour and a half long. They introduce 7 characters, and you get it instantly. The main villain is Darkseid in the first film, and it's wonderful. It's so good. So why can't you translate what you've already done in animation into the real world? That's what's frustrating about DC, is that they have these elements of already really good, successful things, like Arrow's first 2 seasons and The Flash is a TV show, and then they just complicate it.
It's weird that Arrow's first 2 seasons are the best Batman stories DC has done in the last 15 years. Like,
yes,
yeah,
they made him Batman. Like, I remember, where I think I kind of lost interest in Arrow was they did that story with Raish or Raz, whatever you want to say, depending on your pronunciation, with Ra's al Ghul, and it was like, this is Batman, and it's fucking amazing. And then as soon as they brought him back, I was like, okay. And then it became like everyone's a superhero, and they kind of lost my interest. But like, you're right. Like, and I think all of this stuff does just come down to the fact that they put Zack Snyder as the center of this universe. And I'm not trying to attack the guy. I like genuinely, I was a fan of his films for like a good while. I owe him a lot as far as the build up and hype towards Watchmen really got me into comics like hardcore. Like, and I like a lot of his work, and I think visually he's a great filmmaker. But he's not the guy you build your universe around. And like, it's like when the Man of Steel came out 2013, 8 years later, we're still trying to recover from the decisions he's made. Yeah, it's mad.
But I think with Marvel, you have people like the Russo brothers who are used to working in TV, which is a medium where you have to slot your ideas in amongst other people's for it to make sense. Whereas Zack Snyder's a singular director who goes in and goes, this is what I'm fucking doing, whether you like it or not. Yeah. And studios generally allow him to. So
do you not think the issue
that's why as a universe building, it's not great to have someone like that.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Do you not think a big issue as well is making the director the centerpiece rather than your characters? You know, like, why are we all hinging on this Zack Snyder this, Zack Snyder that? Why are we not saying Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and all these people in these conversations?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Why are we having this conversation? That's the issue with DC.
That's not a great selling point for this podcast, Aaron.
I'm gonna cut that out. Why are we making this video?
No, but like, we shouldn't need to be having this conversation. We shouldn't need to be talking about Zack Snyder's cut, because there should have been a Justice League movie, and we all should be having this conversation. But I can't wait for Justice League 2.
Well, okay, let me play devil's advocate here, because I'm sure if there is any DC fans that haven't already just quit out of this video out of rage, is it the fact that Marvel are hiring people that do, you know, listen to what they say? Are they hiring people necessarily, like, because one of the things Marvel's often accused of is like, they're like, indie filmmaker, come make, you know, Spider-Man 4 or whatever. Is it that they're hiring people without a vision, and it's that it is a creative force? Like, is there weight to that argument, do you think? I don't know. And I mean, obviously you can't argue with the results.
What I'd say with Marvel is they put the script ahead of the director. Whereas I would say it's the opposite on DC stuff. Like, Zack Snyder is very much I actually don't even know what his involvement in the script was in this one, but I'm the director of this, my visual blah, blah, blah. Where Marvel, the script goes ahead, and the story and the universe is always put first over anything, except Robert Downey Jr. probably.
But also, I think Marvel do very well as well in adapting to situations in which, like, Thor 1, while I like it, I can see why people think it's boring. Thor 2 is just bad. But then they listened, completely switched it up, and Thor 3 is better. It seems DC are adamant on hitting their nail on the head of, no, this is a dark world. Everything's dark and gritty here. Thor was very serious, and then suddenly Marvel were able to turn him into the best comedy character in the entire series.
Well, that's why it's really.
We need Joel Schumacher back directing Batman.
You'll have to dig him up, I'm afraid.
That's okay. We can do this. We have Barry Allen.
They can bring Superman back straight away. They can bring Joel Schumacher back straight away.
No, Luke, see, Barry Allen can only go back once a year, remember?
Oh, yeah, you have to wait.
Shit.
Damn.
Sorry, okay. Schumacher, I tried.
What I was going to say, and what it is interesting what you said there, because, like, as much as they are, like, it's going to be a dark universe, it feels like they're just awkwardly trying to catch up to, like, what the general consensus is. They're like, okay, you know, a dark movie with our dark R-rated stuff was really successful with Deadpool. Here comes Birds of Prey, and it's like, well, you know, we kind of all moved on from that now.
I forgot about Birds of Prey.
So did everyone else, and I actually like Birds of Prey before anyone starts giving
Yeah, me too.
I don't hate women, and I love Birds of Prey. Okay, just for the record. Okay. But, like,
I do hate women, and I loved Birds of Prey.
well, there you go.
I'm
You
joking.
got both sides of the argument.
So far we've lost DC fans, we've lost women.
It's okay. The only person watching this far in the video is me for editing reasons, and that's it. So, like, yeah, it does feel like they keep being like, what do we want it to be? We want it to be kind of fun, but also dark, and also serious. And like, I feel really like whatever about the fucked nature of this universe. I feel really bad for like the fans because they're just like they must have whiplash at this stage because it's like I love this film, but also I love this film. Like Joker is amazing, but also like Shazam is really really good, and like
Shazam's great.
Shazam is so. I was actually just about to say though, like, why haven't they done more Shazam style movies? It's dark and funny. Like you can do. They have been successful at it, which like I think Shazam's probably the best movie they did.
Yeah,
I agree. But you know what?
It's so good. I can't fault it.
I think it was the thing where they're like, we don't care about Shazam. We don't see him as like one of the big heroes. So therefore, do whatever you like, David F. Sandberg. Go make Shazam. And he was like, hey, I made a really fun film. And you know what? Like, just do that. I mean, and again, it even feels like now they're like not even sure if they want a connected universe. They're kind of like, it's all connected sort of, but you know, and like they have the Flash, which is like, it'll retcon a load of stuff probably. They're like doing weird standalone films. Some of them are going to go straight to HBO Max as well, apparently. In case you didn't realize that.
Because it makes sense. Why? I really feel like I'm just hating on DC here, but I don't want to watch a Cyborg film because I just don't care. I just don't care.
Ray Fisher has made sure you're never going to see him in a Cyborg film, so that's good.
If I want to see Cyborg, I'll watch Teen Titans Go.
That's true.
Yeah, 100%.
The best version.
100%.
That's something I was saying, right? Why do you make a Justice League film when you put Cyborg in? Like, Cyborg was only kind of put into the Justice League from the New 52, I think it was, onwards.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you have younger people, like kids love Teen Titans Go. All right?
Yeah.
I
love Teen Titans Go.
I love it. It's amazing. I was like working
It's a great show.
For like, what do you want to watch? And they put on Teen Titans Go, and I was like, I'm totally okay with that. I love Teen Titans Go. But the generation before that also loved Teen Titans. So like,
I love that show.
Why don't you just make a Teen Titans film? Why didn't they just do that? Put Cyborg in that.
Yeah.
Tom, you're preaching to the choir, pal. You're preaching to the choir. Why don't you just make a fucking Teen Titans movie?
Perfect, right?
Like, why is there no Green Arrow in this universe?
But that's it. It kind of feels like at the start it was like, this is what we want to do. They were like, we're going to have a Cyborg film. We're going to have a Green Lantern film. And now it just feels like they're so unsure of themselves. They're like, that's why there's like a million different rumors about DC. Like when there's something like rumored for Marvel, it's like, oh, hey, that probably will come out. That movie will come out in some form. Like the only thing they ever kind of reneged on was Inhumans. And like here in DC, it was like, we're going to have a Jared Leto Joker film. But actually, no, it's not Jared Leto film. You know, they've had like they've had a standalone Joker film. There was going to be a Joker and Harley Quinn film. Like, there's like 5 different things they have just on the go that feel like they're not going anywhere. Like,
to be fair, it would be really
Joker
cool
is
if
Jesus.
It would be really cool if they did a free Joker story out of all of this, though.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Maybe. But like, even like,
who's the other Joker though?
We have to wait. We'll see.
Mark Hamill. Give Mark Hamill a shot as an older Joker.
I would fucking eat that up.
It's the only way to go.
But that's it. Like, I mean,
no, give us Joe DiMaggio as like the weird hobo Joker. That'd be awesome.
But that's it. Like, right, as much as I'm sure we're coming off as very negative, like from a DC point of view, you just heard.
I didn't think I'd be as negative.
Yeah, like when you just heard all the excitement there about like a Teen Titans movie, like all of these ideas are there. It's just that they can't put them together. They can't get out of their own way to make this stuff work.
They can't just look at the actual source material that they're drawing from and just do that. Just do it. That's all they need to do.
It's hilarious, right? Because I'm writing something at the moment for the podcast about Superman Flyby, which was J.J. Abrams' Superman movie that never happened.
Yeah.
And it is so hilarious when you watch Batman v Superman and you look at the development of Superman before this, because they were like, what do we want? We want Death of Superman. Every movie after Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, there's been some element of put Death of Superman in there because they saw the sales of Death of Superman and they were like, this is what we need. So it feels like half these movies are made by committee. Every time they're like, let's kill off Superman. And then it's like, you killed off Superman in his second ever appearance in a movie where he was barely the focus of it all before we got a chance to know. Like, I can't put a bigger indictment on this universe in general that they killed Superman and I didn't give a shit. Like, how do you do that? Like, there was like I nearly cried when fucking Yondu died. You know what I mean? Like, who the hell is Yondu? Second appearance.
That's a fact.
It just goes back to the no semblance of world building. Just if we get a few buzzwords out there like Death of Superman or Son of Batman, maybe people will come see our fucking movie.
Yeah. They just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And it's kind of funny, like when you watch Batman v Superman, like it leads to some of the awkward stuff. Like remember Lex Luthor, like they teased the Justice League in an email. The first ever appearance of the Justice League is click this email attachment and look at the Justice League teasers. And Lex Luthor designed all their logos, which is kind of funny. They were nice of him. They're like, look, he's already hired a graphic designer, guys. You might as well.
You fix that movie if you just turn Lex Luthor into the Riddler.
Well, yeah, that was it. I was like,
yeah.
And do you know what's even worse, right? And again, this is what it comes down to as well. When I saw like Lex Luthor,
yes, back to shitting on DC. Let's go.
I can't get out of my own way. Like when they announced like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, I'm like, that fucking works. That can totally work. But then they're like, put him in a weird orange wig, make him this weird like chirpy weirdo. Don't like watch The Social Network. Like make him socially awkward. Okay, make him more intelligent. That's Lex Luthor. Do that.
Mark Zuckerberg is Lex Luthor. Got it.
Right, but like instead they make him, and again, there's a lot of ideas that could work in Batman v Superman. I feel like we're not even talking about Snyder Cut now. We're like, where did they go wrong?
This has become the kind of what is the fuck is wrong with DC films?
Yeah. I'm gonna put big yellow letters like, where did it all go wrong? And big circle around Batman. Because that's what all my video thumbnails are missing, by the way. That's
where it all went wrong with Batman is when his parents died. We already know that. So,
well, you know, it comes with if you're going to be a superhero, just your parents are going to be killed. You know, like that's just the way it has to be, I'm afraid. But
one or the other.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just feels like there's so many things that work on paper that just execution fucked it up from. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this was where I wanted this video to go or expected it to go.
No, I don't think so.
I guess final thoughts, guys. Snyder Cut, good or bad? What do we think it's going to be, Luke?
I'm excited for it. I hope it's good. I really, really, really hope it's good. For the film, yeah, I'm going to leave it there because otherwise this is going into another rant. But
okay.
yeah, I hope it's good.
Let's do this. Let's since we've been all negative, let's say one positive thing we're looking forward to from the Snyder Cut, if there is one. Okay.
I'm looking forward to Ben Affleck getting a proper shout out as Batman. I think he was very negatively looked on. I think he can do a very good job as Batman.
All right. Aaron, is there anything you're looking forward to from us?
Again, we seem to be doing opposites, me and Luke, because I'm very excited for Jared Leto to get a fair shot at the Joker because I feel like he's a real life weirdo to be a proper Joker. Like he could be a real Joker. He has a cult in real life.
He's on my territory. What the fuck? But yeah, you're right. It's like, again, Jared Leto. I don't really like Jared Leto, but I'm like, that could totally work as Joker, and it totally didn't. I mean, as far as what I'm excited for with the Snyder Cut, God, I'm annoyed because I actually like. Is there something I'm excited for?
Watching fanboys have to eat their words.
I mean, I'm excited as much as I don't think it's going to be good. I'm excited to see what his actual vision is from a supporting artist point of view. I'm like, pretty cool that he's getting another bite at the apple for a 4-hour weird R-rated film that is way too much money and can never possibly be successful, but it's pretty interesting. Like, that is, again, I guess what I'm saying basically is what is interesting me about the Justice League Snyder Cut is that it's interesting, which isn't very good of an answer. But there you go. That's why I brought guests on, and, you know, they should probably have their own show as opposed to me. But regardless,
let's do it.
Yeah, I know. Right?
We did once, but
yeah.
I know, right? This is another bother.
I decided to stop it. That's what happened. I decided to stop it.
Oh my God, I'm going to leave because this is getting a bit awkward. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Maybe we can get you back on at some point. I don't know what to discuss, but certainly there's never any shortage of comic book stuff. Regardless, that is where we leave it. Come back later in the week. If you're not just a DC fan, I'm going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And remember, whatever you do, please like and subscribe. Let us know, are we totally wrong about Snyder Cut? Are we totally wrong about DC? Please do, angry DC people, which I'm sure will happen. Regardless, that is where we leave it. I've been your cult leader, Tom Patton. Remember, I'll be watching. Take care.